Yeah. Welcome to the Give and Go. My name's Tim, and today on episode 19 of 32 for 32 on the Give and Go, we're going to be looking at the San Francisco 49ers, what they've done this offseason, and will they improve in the 2017 NFL season. So starting off with their roster, they added a lot of key pieces through free agency. They brought in the wide receiver Pierre Garçon from Washington, Malcolm Smith, the linebacker from Oakland. They brought in Kyle Juszczyk, making him the highest paid fullback in the league, which was a little bit interesting from that perspective. They also brought in Earl Mitchell, Matt Barkley, Brian Hoyer is most likely going to be the starting quarterback this year, Tim Hightower, and Marquise Goodwin. So they did bring in some good pieces to help out that roster, which was devoid of talent last year. They did lose other key players, though, as well. They did lose Torrey Smith, the wide receiver, to Philadelphia. They lost Antoine Bethea, Quentin Patton, and Nick Bellore. So a couple of losses even out with the addition, so that's good for them. I think the biggest addition overall, though, is the head coach and GM, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And I think that team is going to be really good in the next 3 to 4 years, especially now that they have the leeway with the new 6-year contracts that they just signed. They did not draft a quarterback besides C.J. Beathard in the 3rd round. So next year, if they're drafting early, which I expect them to be, then they will be drafting one of the top 3 quarterbacks, either Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, or Josh Rosen. So it's likely that they were saving up for next year or the year after when they can get the quarterback of their choice. In the draft, I think they had one of the best, if not the best draft out of all the 32 NFL teams. And with the 3rd pick, after mossing Chicago with that trade, they drafted Solomon Thomas from Stanford. Then they drafted Reuben Foster, the linebacker, and with the 31st pick, 2 top 5 players in the 1st round, which was a great move by them. They both should be immediate impact starters on that team. They drafted the corner Akil Witherspoon from Colorado, the quarterback C.J. Beathard, and what was interesting, I think, in the 4th round, they drafted the running back Joe Williams. And after reading MMQB a couple weeks ago, I learned that Joe Williams wasn't on their draft board. So it's going to be interesting how that fits with Carlos Hyde and Joe Williams on that team now. And so overall, their schedule, it's pretty tough to begin. They face Carolina and Seattle at the start. So we'll immediately see how Kyle Shanahan's team, even if they lose by a couple points, we'll see that they're progressing from last year's awful start. Then they face the Rams, Arizona, Indianapolis, Washington. They face Dallas, Philadelphia, Arizona, and the Giants. So that stretch right there in the middle could decide their season. Then they face Seattle, Chicago, Houston, and to finish out the year, they have a pretty easy stretch with Tennessee, Jacksonville, and the Rams. Overall, in the 2017 NFL season, I have the San Francisco 49ers going 4-12. They definitely could improve from that 4-12 mark if Brian Hoyer can find their wide receivers in that team, and if Kyle Shanahan just makes a huge impact, which I expect him to be. But overall, I have a conservative 4-12 for them, as they haven't found that quarterback of the future, and they're still building that team defense to offense. Thank you for watching 32 for 32 on the Give and Go. Come back tomorrow as we finish up the NFC West and look at the Seattle Seahawks and how they will do in the 2017 NFL season. Have a great day.